This conference will now be recorded.
Yes, Srikanth, yeah, correct. Correct, Sandeep. Latest video is not uploaded. Last couple of sessions were not uploaded. Probably I'll try to upload today after the session. Okay. So now let us see this now. Today we are moving to the next topic. What is the topic? The topic is multi-line expression, Scala multi-line expression. Means you can split an expression in Scala into multiple lines, and that is what we call multi-line. But when you are doing that, you have to follow certain rules, and you cannot do it directly. It's not possible. And if you do that, sometimes it leads to error, or sometimes you don't get expected output that is there. The execution pattern might change when you try to split a logic, or when you split an expression into multi-line statement. Okay. So what is that we'll discuss. So, but prior to that, what we have discussed so far is we have covered all the fundamentals in depth in Scala, and then we have discussed about all the loops, and then control statements. Then we started functions, and in functions we have discussed all the different types of functions, default, parameterized, and also we have discussed named parameters, then default parameters in Scala, and then higher order functions, and then lambda functions, and then how these are correlated, and we have discussed that as well. So far we have done a lot of implementation. Many times we have worked on many logic part also, and that continues for everyone. So now the question is, we are switching to the next topic. What is that? Multi-line expression. What is it? As just I have discussed and introduced, it is a simple concept. It is not something which takes your time. Where here, what happens is that you have an expression like this. All of us know. I want to do sum of two numbers, a plus b. Now, this is how we write an expression, isn't it? But I can split it into multiple lines here in Scala, and I can have my expression like this. And this is not allowed in no other language supports this kind actually. Scala has such feature here. Okay. So now, how do you do that? But actually, in a real code, probably when we are working with our Spark applications, because most of our code will be in Scala only in our project. But I didn't see these multi-line statements. If you ask me like how this exactly used means, even I didn't apply it to give you a real-time use case. So, but if I come across any such thing, definitely I will let you know. But whatever we are seeing in our code, that I can tell you like this is useful like in this way. Okay. But this one, get an idea of this, just understand. Later on, if any situation comes, definitely you get a clarity about that. But for now, what is that? Just understand this. So is it clear, right? Clear to all of you or not? Now what do you do? Just do this program. So we have a simple program here, and you can see this. To test this code first, test this code, pass two parameters, and see what you get here. Okay. Okay, try it, guys. Test this one first. And tell me what you get there. Of course, it's clearly explained under that, but you test it, tell me. Okay, let's continue. So if you are getting error, no problem. We will do it in a right way. We'll do it in a right way. Okay. Just to get that point, okay, whether that is correct or not. To evaluate that, we are just simply doing that. Okay. I think this is Java. I'm sorry. It's Scala one. Okay. I'm just taking a simple program, and this is some program where it take two parameters, a colon int comma b colon int colon. Return type is int here, equal to like this. Okay. Now, no problem. Don't worry about it. I'm explaining that. Now observe here carefully. Now I write it like this. Okay. Let us leave it like that. Okay. We'll talk about it. Now I'm calling this function, the sum function, sum of sum 10 comma 20. Okay. And this, right, when you just declare a expression in the function, by default it is returned by the function. This is applicable in Scala. We don't need to use any return keyword in Scala like other languages. Right? All of you know that. So means this whole expression should be evaluated. This has to be added. This must be executed. You get some result. That result is returned back. That's what happens in Scala. Will you agree? And all of us know this, though, except those who are new to the session. Those who are regular, all of you know that. Okay. Now, when a function returns something, it will initialize that to some variable. It has to initialize. So, okay, we should initialize something returned by a function to a local variable. How do you do that? Where some x equal to like this. Maybe if you want, you can put data type. Okay. Now you can print x now. Okay. And then print of x. Now you run this code. Run it. Right click. Let us see what happens. So I don't say this is a harmonious code. Okay, this is something, a proper code. Okay, then just run this. So I'm not seeing any result here for now. Let us just observe the console. I didn't see anything. Let me run one more time. While I'm trying, you can see this error here. Right click, run as Scala application. And it's saying it has build errors. Might be it should be because of some previous files also happens. What you can do is when you have such errors in the package, in your package, better to remove them. That is important. Okay, I have issue with this. That's why it's throwing error. For now, I don't need any Java program. I can create that simple program. So I don't want it. I'm removing it because it is stopping my execution. So run as Scala application. Now I got 20 here. Did I get 20 or not? But 20 in sense, the A value is 10 and B value is 20. 10 plus 20, I should get 30, but I am getting only 20, but I am not getting 30. And for some of you, I am seeing in the chat box, different students, different learners, or different persons are giving different answers. Somebody is saying it is giving error. Somebody is saying it is giving warning. Somebody is saying some warning is coming. Correct. Because no, I don't think you get an error. If you get an error, you don't get output. Correct? Will you get output if you have an error in the code? It's not possible. 20 is something which I have declared in my program itself. I didn't declare in any other program. So, but the flaw in this logic is it is not giving right output to me. We are not getting right output. Here it is just returning only 20, means this evaluation is not happening properly. Execution is not done correctly. So how do you fix it? That is where you have to apply some parentheses here. We have to take some important precautions to avoid any mishandling of logic. But what did I do here? Am I able to split my logic into two lines or not? Is it possible or not? So this is also possible in Scala. You remember, you understand, just learn it. Might be when situation comes, I will remind you somewhere. Okay, clear no? All of you are clear. Are you getting 20 without keeping bracket? Now see, for me, I'm getting 20 without keeping bracket. Suresh, what do you say? Is it clear or not, all of you? Now, how do you fix it then? See, there are different ways to fix this issue. One way is you can see here clearly a statement is added under the program. The above program does not evaluate complete expression and just return B there here. So be careful while using multi-line expression. So how to use multi-line expression then? If you look at this here, I had said it what you can see plus is declared first and then it is split after that. The expression you have applied the operator with the first parameter or the first argument and then you split second argument into the second line. So definitely this should work for us. This is one use case. Second use case, if you ask me, sir, I will keep plus with B only. Then if you want to keep plus with B, then you have to apply a parenthesis like this. So these are the rules you have to follow when you are going with multi-line statements for an expression. There is nothing difficult to understand this. It is a straightforward pointer. So how where we apply that operator? We are using plus, right? Where we are using? Are we using with the first argument or the second argument? If you are using with first argument, if you are using that plus or minus or something with first argument, there is no issue. Suppose you want to declare that with the second argument, you can see there, then apply a parenthesis. What happens if you don't apply parenthesis? Then it will by default return the second argument itself. It doesn't perform the execution. It doesn't apply that logic. That operation is not performed there. So we are missing out that logic there. It will simply return the second value. That's what happens in the second case. So, and this anyhow, all of you know this. Maybe for a change, you can give different values because as we are passing same, we might we don't know what difference we are getting between the both executions. I am giving 10, 20, and then 30 and 40. Now you test this program, and do you understand, right? What were the issues we have with multi-line expressions and how to fix those issues? Is it clear to all of you? Do you understand, sir? Can anybody say yes or no, sir? Any confirmation? Madhu, Vijay, Srikant, Suresh, Deepak. I think we have many. Okay, Harish, someone who is Bharat, Mayur, yep, Sandeep. All of you are clear, right?
Yes.
That's good. Okay, test it, sir. All of you test it. Test it. If you test, then I will test once myself once. Then you get some idea. And if you have more questions, then we can talk. Not now. Let me finish topics today. At the end, we will keep a questionnaire session today. If you have any questions, we will discuss. Okay, somebody gave me some output. Okay, that's good. Thank you, Srikant. I will also test once. What is the correction I should do to this code? Anyone? Anyone suggest me the correction I should do to this code? Do you think this is valid? Is it a correct approach? Yep. So change the operator position. This is perfect. Now you run the code and see, are we getting 30 or not? Just check it out, sir. Just verify that. Yeah, perfect. Can you see the output now? The other way. Anyhow, I am not taking two functions. I'm just trying to show you both cases in the same function itself. We have tested one case, so we can make it proper by changing the position of operator. That is one case. Second case, suppose I want it to be like this, but still I should get a proper output, put a parenthesis as a whole. Then now run this again, right click. What do you do, sir? Okay. I'm just making this little right. Now run this, sir, again. Right click, run as Scala application. 30, perfect. Got it, right? This is about multi-line statements. So what are the takeaways here? We can split what we can do, sir? We can split an expression into what? Expression into statements. Okay, multiple statements. That is one thing. So that is what multi-line expression is. Second thing, what is the rule we have to follow here? Usually the operator must be with the first argument. When you are having multiple arguments, you should declare it with first argument. That is one thing. Second thing, or apply parenthesis. Okay, that is one more approach. Might be out of my curiosity, Bharat might have a question here. What if we have three parameters? What, sir? Bharat, sir, what do you say? Even I didn't test it, but let us try it. If you fail, nothing happens. Tomorrow we can discuss.
We still get the values of A and B only.
Okay, and then I'll put A plus, and then let us try like this. Is it just applicable only for B plus C? Let us try like this if it works or not. Okay,
It definitely works.
let us check it once. As Scala application. I got 60, perfect. Working, right, sir? One use case. Second use case, I'd remove parentheses now because I think these were rightly formatted. Out of my curiosity, I removed
Out,
parentheses, sir. Will this
output is
work,
30.
Madhu? Madhu, will this? Okay, let me try it. Oh, perfect. It's working in both ways. Awesome, right? What do you say, Bharat, Bharat sir?
When I executed this statement, when I executed A plus B
Mhm.
and plus C, I got it as 30.
Okay, but now I think it's you might find
Yeah,
some. You can correct yourself now.
yeah, this is perfectly right. This is the case one, na, use case one. You will be getting a perfect output.
Let
Try
me
with
try
plus B.
use case two. Let me try use
Yeah.
case two. Then in this case, I think we prefer
No,
to
no, no.
use what.
Don't keep parentheses.
That then in that case it won't work, Bharat, right?
It worked
Because
and we'll be getting the 30 as the output. Just check.
correct. In this case we have clearly discussed this point. This is not well formed. First thing,
Hmm.
when you like this, when you split your expression into three multiple statements, by default in this case, it will return the last value, but it is not going to perform any addition on these three parameters. Do you understand this, Bharat?
That's, yes, that's true. I got the point.
So that is there is a flaw here. To fix that flaw,
Hmm.
you can fix it in two ways. What is that? Put a parenthesis here. That is one way to fix it. Okay, now run this. Let us see if we get 60. Perfect. You get 60 right this time, isn't it?
Yes,
Did you get 60 here, Bharat? Yep. So that
right.
is one
I
thing.
got it.
There is another way to fix this. What is that other way? Either change the position of your argument, these operators here. What is that? It has to be like this. It should not come to the, okay, it should be like this. This is what you have to follow. Then you don't need parentheses here. This is the right way of splitting your code into multiple statements, multiple lines. Okay. Is this clear to all of you now? Okay. If you don't understand, you can ask me, guys. Don't hesitate to ask me. I have patience to explain. Okay. Right. So this is the idea about what, sir? This is idea about the multi-line expressions. Another very interesting topic after this is function currying. What is it? Function currying. What is function currying? This is a bit interesting topic, and we also use this in real-time use cases. We see this kind of coding practices in our project as well in certain use cases. Again, I am again bringing this point. When you talk about Scala, the advantage and disadvantage with Scala is syntactically it is having a deeper this thing. So what you have to do is you have to understand that first, then you should apply that. Okay, even though you can write very optimized, very less code, or you can make it so optimized with Scala. The point is you need to have a clear, thorough understanding of the syntax of Scala. That is very important. So, I am not trying to make anything here. Usually what happens in big data is, because Scala is used more in big data and these are sessions are targeted for big data only. Suppose there is a 10 member team in the office who is working on big data. You believe or not, only one or two people have the Scala knowledge, or sometimes even most of them don't have any idea about the Scala. So this is where you have to get an opportunity. So now like moving back to the function currying here. What is function currying? Simple. See, instead of reading all this theory, let's directly target the code here. Already we have a clear idea about function and how to declare function. We have a thorough idea about higher order and lambda functions. Currying is nothing. So far when we observe a function, our function doesn't look like this. This is something strange for us. This is first time we are seeing a different function. This is not something we had seen so far. We have seen so far. Our function usually look like this. You don't have two parentheses for two parameters, but one parenthesis separated by comma between these parameters. This is our function so far. But for a change, this time I'm seeing two parameters inside two parentheses. Something strange here, right? Do you observe this or not? And this is what we call currying. Means this gives, when you have parameters split like this into multiple parentheses, this gives an opportunity to implement something called currying. What do you mean by currying? Do you have any idea? Generally most of you prepare some curries at home, right? Let us bring that concept for currying here. When you are preparing, suppose you prepare some veg curry or non-veg curry, whatever it is. Suppose you take a non-veg curry. In that there are again some sub process happening there. First you should prepare some masala, and then you should prepare some other thing, and finally what you have to do, you have to mix it with your chicken. Means you don't directly go to the start cooking chicken. Prior to that, you do some other cooking, and you prepare some other items, and all that items you keep on adding to one to another, and finally you make one final product, isn't it? That is what the making process of a curry or not? Yes. Same thing, if you observe this code, we can do the same with the function currying. What is that? We can phase wise passing of values can be done. Phase wise applying logic can be done here. So there is a logic. We can apply that logic in a phase wise manner. So that is possible with the currying concept. Might be how you can ask me. I am going to explain each line carefully, clearly. Just follow. So here, the first thing, if it is a normal function, we used to pass our values like this. Like, when the function look like this is how we pass values. But this function is not a normal, but it is a currying function. So we are applying function currying here, where we have multiple parentheses. Okay. This function is expecting two parameters, isn't it? Then how should I pass? Should I pass like this? So if I pass like this, does it work? Okay, we will check it in the code. We will directly take this code and test it in the. Let's test it here. Let's understand it in a practical way. Instead of reading okay, so much of theory, let's get some idea without any difficulty. Okay, then logic you can write as you wish, guys. You can apply multi-line statement here. That is fine, or you can directly write your regular logic. That is okay. That's up to you. See, we can discuss so many things, but later on, what to use is your choice. I'm not going to ask anything from your side. So I'm just doing like this. I'm adding this. That is fine. But if usually my way of calling so far function is this. What is that? I call a function like this. This is my way. How do I call? I have a column and one parenthesis. Inside that I pass two values because I see two parameters here. That is what I have done so far. But this function is not a regular one, but I see something change in this function to the function what we have seen so far. So what is the change here? We are seeing a separate parenthesis for every parameter. Usually all parameters are in one parenthesis or inside one parenthesis, but this is different. So in such case, I cannot call this like a normal function, but what should I do? I have to call it likewise. So right, like father, like son. You just hear that kind of statement. Like function, your color should be also like that. So what is the change I have to do? When I have a currying thing, then I should call it like this, guys. I should put multiple parentheses here also. This first parameter is passed to the first parenthesis, and second parameter is passed to the second parameter. And these are, right, these are actual arguments, very well. Okay, and these are called as what? These are dummy arguments. We had discussed some sometime back, in our function discussion. These are dummy, or we call it as formal arguments. Maybe if you wish to know why we call that, I will give a quick demonstration sometime later. If you wish, you can remind me sometime later. What is the reason behind it? Why they are called as formal? Why these are called actual? If you are interested, okay. But now this is what we have to do. Earlier, we used to see some error here, but this time when I made this change to the color, that error is gone. It had been removed. Okay, so that's it. Now right click this and then run as Scala application. That's it. I got 30. Perfect output. Got it right? Is it what the output should be, right? Yes, that's the what the output should be. So what is currying here now? Still, this is more or less like a regular program. Currying means we can add or we can pass values to this function in a phase-wise manner, in a stepwise manner, and that is what the advantage of currying is. Okay, how? Let us move to the step 2 now. In step 2, what I'm going to do is this is fine. We have tested this. We are done with this. Now you see these two statements here. Okay, leave about okay, this what is this? All that we are going to add it. Now, as I have two parameters, first for the first time, you can see here I'm calling this function with this caller, but I'm not passing both parameters at a time, but I am just giving a room for other parameter little later by applying underscore here. Observing means what we can do. Let's take step 1 here. What is that? Where some r1, let's say r1 equal to, you can say sum of 10, and then don't forget to say apply underscore. Now this is a currying function. Then the advantage with currying is you don't need to pass all parameters in one go, but what you can do, you can pass parameters in a phase-wise approach. How? In this step, in this step 1 here, what I'm doing, I am passing just one parameter to this function sum. Now, implicitly a lambda approach is applied. You have idea about lambda functions, right? This whole function, sum whatever it is there, it gets converted to a lambda internally. Are you following? What this gets, can you see that? Once I apply this sum of 10 underscore, and if I put a cursor on R1, you can see that racket operator. When you look at racket in Scala, then what does it mean, guys? It means it is a lambda function, anonymous function. Do you understand? Means I am converting this a regular function into a lambda by applying this currying. Here I am just passing one parameter and giving room for passing second parameter by applying underscore here. This means that we are also going to pass another parameter to this function, and meanwhile the whole object whatever we have passed so far is assigned to this R1. Now on top of this R1, using this R1 itself is a lambda now. Means this itself is a function. You know, right, how to call a lambda function? We call lambdas through the reference to which it is pointing. Now R1 is pointing to sum. Now in the second phase, in step 2, I should not call sum. Don't expect to call sum. The sum object is already referring by this R1. Sum object is already referring by what, guys? It is referred by R1. Means you don't need to again call sum, but you should call R1. How do you call R1 now? So this is step 2 now. Step 2, you say where R2 equal to R1 of sum 20. This time I'm passing the second parameter. Means finally I passed all parameters to this function. I pass one parameter from the step 1 and I pass second parameter from step 2. But what did I do in this process? I didn't make it. I didn't pass values in a single go, but I split it into iterative steps. First, I made in step 1 or phase 1, I passed a single parameter, and by applying a placeholder. Don't forget to apply underscore here. This is very important. It's a placeholder. It means still there is a continuation. That is meaning a simple, just a quick understanding meaning is that. When you do this, your regular function or normal function is converted to lambda. And again, on top of lambda, I should pass remaining parameters. Okay, how many are there here now? Another one. Then you are passing that. Suppose one more is there, then again you have to apply underscore for this. Okay, finally, what you have to do, gentlemen, print R2. R2 is the one which has our actual result now. So right click, run as Scala application. Perfect. So is it something like making a real curry or not? You don't make curry directly. So you see, when you are preparing a curry, you don't put everything and just lit a fire under your okay utensil and you don't start cooking. What do? You keep on adding one by one ingredient after the another ingredient, one item of the another item to that curry. Isn't it or not? Same thing here also. You are also doing the currying concept. What is that? In a phase-wise approach. Is it clear to all of you now? Yes, sir. Is it clear? All of you got some clarity here? You know why I took so much time is because these are some little deeper things to understand. That's why I took some time to explain this bit and piece. Now, are you good? Is it clear to all of you? Real use case, Srikant, when you are working on some Spark project, we'll talk about real use cases, because the output of one operation should be given to the as input to another operation. So means when you have a number of operations keep happening, so this is what happens. That happens with a large scale application. So I will bring all this. We can apply them when you are working with the Spark application. Okay, or when we go to collections, I will show you how the output of one thing can be passed to another thing. Okay, these are very useful functions. In most of the built-in collections are, most of built-in concepts of Scala, these functions are widely used. Clear now? Yeah, thank you, Vijay. I will bring it, don't worry. So I am more curious, like you. Okay. Next one. Shall we? I think we are done with most of the deeper concepts of Scala. That is function talk in functions. Okay. Next one. Scala nested functions. This is simple, sir. So this is there in many languages. We have this in Python. We have this in. I hope it should be there in C# as well as Java also. Okay, inner functions are there in Java. Okay, and same thing like even in C# it is there. Nested means function inside a function. That's it. That's what we call nested functions. Okay. Why R1 is not allowing data type? Where, Madhu? Oh, you mean see, it's not like that, Madhu. Declare intentionally. Let me try it. Okay. If it is not allowing data type, means this should be another reason. This sum is what? What is the sum here? I told you while we are discussing one-on-one, isn't it, Madhu? I forgot to tell you this, guys. In Scala or in Python, okay, everything is an object. Everything is an object. Everything. You talk about the data type, you talk about function, you talk about anything. Everything is an object in Scala. So you are assigning. I told you this function is an object which is as referred by this R1. Now R is not referring to any value, but R1 is referring to a function object. What is referring, Madhu? Object. That's why what here you can see here now. By default, implicitly it is taking int, but when I give it externally, 1 minute. Let me make some changes to this if it is going to agree. Type mismatch found int. Okay, required something. It is expecting internally. If you see this, it is expecting something. So no need to worry too much about it. Don't get into the too much deeper here. So till this level, is it serving the or not? Check it out. Okay. Okay. Then later on you can explore it, or you can dig too much into that. Okay. Then here also, let me do one thing. Let me put it here. Yes, we didn't get error here. I can answer your question now, Madhu. We didn't get error here, but I put here. Okay, we are having error. You know why, Madhu? I think this will clear your doubt. So at this level, at this one, at step 1, this is not completely doing anything. We didn't pass parameters completely. We have just only passed a partial input, and to finish this operation, we have to pass one more input. Then this function completes the execution of that result, and it will return that. But in this case, we converted it to a lambda, but this lambda is not returning anything by now because it is not returning any result. What it is giving us, it is giving a partial object. Got clarity here, Madhu? But if I declare data type here, I didn't get error. But if I declare data type here, I got error. Means what? Means still at this level, we don't know what this function is going to return. But at this level, we know what R1 is going to return. Is this clear now, Madhu? Madhu? Still any ambiguity? Come on, let's talk. Still any ambiguity?
Sir, can you try giving any?
Where?
At R1, yeah.
Okay. When I give any, here also I should give any. Who is that? Can I have your name?
Vijay, sir.
Okay. But again, the whole internally again it's causing some change to R1. Why? Because this implicitly is holding some integer. At this level, it is accepting. But when I come to this point, okay, let me remove this. And then I am seeing error. 1 minute. Any does not take parameters. Okay, let me do one thing then. Instead of any, I take any val. Then when I say any val, I have issue here. Might be it should be issue with this. Let me try here. And again, here we have to make a change. Any val. Okay, this is fine. But at this level again, so it is saying implicit conversions are not applicable because they are ambiguous. Both method arrow association and object. Can you see here now? This is a very deeper thing. Okay. So what it is saying is we have to get a little understanding of. I don't want to go. See, let's stop here. See, we can talk it again. Okay, let us. For now, what is that? The issue is this, Madhu. What is that? Why you get error here? Because internally it might be returning some kind of object, and the operation is not still completed. So what happens is it might be holding an implicit object internally, even though it is showing r1 colon int. But if we are declaring it externally, it is not agreeing means. So point is what? Still internally, it should give something, that is what this is expecting. So for now, what you can do? So you can just avoid it, and here you can give it that data type, because here it's very clear the sum function returns integer, and we are completing the whole operation by passing value through this. So that's why this will return a value. But here the possibility of return result is not there. It is just a partial implementation so far, and we are passing just one parameter. But this operation to complete, we have to pass two parameters. That should be the reason we are getting an error here. That's it. Okay. Other things we can dig again. Vijay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Let's again, let me go back to the nested functions. So what is a nested function here? This is simple. This doesn't have too many jargons here, or too much of in-depth this thing. Just a function inside another function like this. Okay, that's what inner function is. So before that, did you test this code, all of you? All of you tested this? Please test this code once. Take 2 minutes and test it. So this is what I do when I print R1. Can you see here? See here. Yeah, correct. That's what even I told to all of you. But we know this. Because I had done some R&D. When I print R1, what do I see in R1? This is an object. What object? A lambda object. You can see the name lambda also in that. That's what I told you. This is just it returns an object. R1 is referring to some object. So that's why even when I try to assign some any val or any, it's not accepting. It will return that object, that address is referred by this R1. That's what happening here. Okay. Is it clear, Madhu? Right. All of you tested this? Is it tested, sir? Okay. Let's talk about nested functions. Our next topic is function within another function, that is called nested functions, and it is not something, it is a simple and very straightforward, and it is also very useful for code modularization. Suppose I am taking a simple example here. Little later, when we come across any use cases, I will let you know this is nested or this is something like this. Suppose you take a function like this, d of f1, okay, or m1, and I'm just making it as a void function, okay. I'm just not returning anything, and d of m2, a simple function. I'm not taking anything complex here. I'm just printing here println of I. This is a nested function within another function. Okay. Now, if I should call M2, what should I do? Can I call M2 directly outside here? Can I call it here? I call M1 here. It will work. We can call M1. Also, we can have statements in this scope of M1. Whatever I am showing here, this is M1 space, M1 scope. Suppose if I write anything inside M2, that is M2 scope. So, but outside M2, inside M1, completely it belongs to M1. Okay. So now I can just add something like println of something like hello. Okay. Now I can call M1 directly from main. That's possible. All of you know. So that is fine. When I run this, when I say right click, run as Scala application, I get hello. But can I call M2 directly? Can I say M2 like this? Is it possible? When I do that, I got an error, a compilation error here. Can you see that? Because we cannot directly invoke, or we can call an inner function directly outside outer function, and it leads to compilation error. Okay. Then how do I call an inner function? We can call inner function like this. We have to call inner function from outer function, something like M2. Now, what happens? Now, let's see this. Now, M1 calls, this caller M1 will make a call to M1. Control come to this pointer, and then it will print this. And again, a caller is present in M1. Now, M1 will make a call to M2. Then M2 is called from M1. And that's how inner function should be called. An inner function cannot be invoked outside outer function directly, but we should call an inner function from outer function, not outside outer function, but from inside outer function. Got it right? So now if I run this, you can say run Scala application. Now I got both. I got hello and hi. Can you see that? And this function is inner. The purpose of inner functions is that we can have a code modularization or a division of code with the inner functions. They are very useful when you are writing a very lengthy logic. Suppose you are dealing with some mathematical functions. You are dealing with some quadrilaterals. Might be my outer function name would be a quadrilateral. Inside that, I can make it as rhombus, trapezium. Okay, there are so many things. I learned only in school days. I'm not a great mathematics student. Okay, and then there are so many quadrilaterals like this, parallelogram. So to test every shape, I can put one inner function, and my inner function, outer function might be a quadrilateral. So it makes sense. So we can have that kind of modularization with a inner function here. Function itself adds modularization, and with inner functions we can break down to the next level. So, and it adds much more readability. That's how these inner functions are useful to us. Got it right? Understood or not? So I just want to do one more thing. I would like to return a function. Do you understand this, guys? All of you, did you get this concept? We are done with functions, sir. We're almost done. There is one more small topic, variable arguments in functions. So this is not something too complex. It is a very straightforward and very simple topic. But with this, we have done almost all the concepts of Scala without leaving anything. with more examples. We have done so many examples on this. Okay, will you test it now? Still, inner function can return something, outer function can return something. It's not like this should be a void function here or unit functions. Okay, both can return. We can do whatever we want with these functions. It's not like when I keep inner, it doesn't mean that we should not return anything. That is not the point. Just to make quick understanding, I took example like this. That's all. Got it? All of you are clear? Once you test, just ping me, sir. Once you finish testing, just ping me. Then yeah. Please mute your machine, dear friend. It's okay. I will mute it then. Hope all of you are enjoying your work from home, right? Say. There are so many memes on work from home nowadays, especially for married people. Okay, just confirm once it is tested. So I will switch to the next topic, or we will do some R&D on this. Okay, fine. Let us try to remove return this now. Can we return an inner function, guys? Is it possible? Let us check that as well. Another use case I am trying here is one thing, calling an inner function, that is okay, fine. We have done it successfully. Okay, second thing, I am going a little deeper. Let us see this. Case 1 is just a simple example. Case 2 is let's try returning an inner function. Let us just see that. This is my program. You can remove this hello, not necessary. I say return R2 M2. M2 is a, right? I told you this point very clearly. Every function, everything in Scala is an object. Even function is an object. That's what when Madhu has asked me a question, like why this is not returning. I told you that is a partial function and it returns object. And when Vinod Krishnan printed R1, he is seeing some object, lambda object. Got it right? Means that shows a clear proof for us. What is that? Even functions are objects here. Okay. Now I am returning M2. When I say M2, what I am doing here, I am returning the object function, or I am returning this object function object. Okay, fine. Now, when I say a return M2, I am not seeing any error, but I should see some error. That is the point. And when you are returning something, you have to initialize that to some variable, where some x equal to M1. Now let me right click. I'm expecting some error, but if it is not throwing any error, that's my good here. Okay. So I'm still getting high here. Okay, but still there is a point of doubt here. Let me try like this. I'm sorry. X1. Let me try this way. right click, Scala. I got empty, means we are not getting, this is not returning this. Let me add some return type to this. Colon, put any here because any is the superclass of all classes. Then you say return type is this. Then let me try this way. Okay, that is also fine. My expectation is returning this object. Okay, let me say underscore here. Let me remove parenthesis. Correct. I think this should work this time. Okay, because when you put parenthesis, it's a call. When you put when you just say M2, it is an object. Okay. Maybe if you have any doubt, we can do one thing. Let me try this once. Just to show you that this M2 is an object. Okay. We should return that object. We should not return that. We should not make a call, but object has to be returned. Okay. Let me just run this one, just for checking purpose. You can see here now we got when I print M2, let me comment this first. For now, for some time, let's put unit here. Okay, so that we don't have this error here. And this is actually, no, usually I do Python, a lot of Python sessions as well. That's why hash is used in Python, not in Scala. Leave about this X for now. Let's stop printing X. Okay, now right click, run as Scala application. No, still this is making a call to the function. I'm not getting object. Okay, when I say M2 without parenthesis, what's happening here? Even if, when I say directly M2 also without parenthesis, I should get some output. I'm getting like it's still acting as a caller, but I don't need caller. What I need here is a need some where some x equal to. Will this work? Converting to lambda? No, this is not working here. Okay. I'll check how to return a function itself as a whole. I'll do one thing. An object. We can do this directly in Python. Same thing I am trying to apply in Scala as well. Can you say I just need a function that returns a method, not that returns a value. Not this. He didn't give here. Okay. Already it's 10:30. What I'll do is I will check and update in the next session tomorrow. Anyhow, I'll prepare one example for this. Returning a function itself by another function. Function returns values or even function returns objects. That we will see a lot of examples we work on that. But I'm just checking function returning a function as object itself. Okay, that I will explore and update in the next class. Already it's 10:40 for you. Any more questions? Any questions, sir? Okay, guys. So we'll meet again tomorrow. Okay. Sure, sure. Okay. I told you as again, so if some of you are new, so this is our YouTube channel. Please go through this and update yourself, and so that you don't have a continued issue. So still the next topic, when we start a new topic, I don't think you have too much of problem, because as we are in the ending of functions, we are talking deeper into the topic. But when a fresh topic starts, the fundamental part would be clear for everyone, so that you can understand that there. Tomorrow I am going to start a new topic after finishing this couple of things. We'll start with object-oriented programming in Scala. Okay, and if any miscellaneous is there, I'll keep bringing them as well into the discussion whenever possible. Okay, right. See you guys.
Okay, Manohar. Thank you. Yep. Thank you.